The Well is based on the stage play and was translated to the screen by Darren Aronofsky. Brendan Fraser plays as Charlie, a reclusive, severely obese man who's knocking on death's door. He then attempts to reconnect with his daughter before the end comes. So guys, I won't be going into major spoilers until the end of this video after I've given my rating. Before then, you're completely safe, so if anyone comments below about the ending, put a spoiler warning there. Let's all be friends. So this is hands down the hardest review I've ever done. I watched The Well over a month ago and I've been collecting my thoughts ever since. For me, it wasn't just another film, so I couldn't review it quickly. I had to give it time, let my thoughts breathe, and I even had to watch The Well a second time. The reason why is because I relate to the subject matter. I'm going to be very transparent and very honest in this video. Just to simplify this, I know what it's like to be extremely traumatized and to use food as a coping mechanism. I know what it's like to make myself morbidly obese as a result, including all the other issues that come with it. Sometimes it's due to habit, other times it's caused by stress, like when I held my darling dog as he was put to sleep, or when I had a skin cancer scare last year. Either way, I get it. Now, I don't want anyone's pity in the comments section. That won't benefit anyone. Plus, regardless of these weaknesses, I'm still very confident. I'm an extrovert, I take no shit, and I accomplish most of my goals. I mean, I've had great success with my voice work nowadays.
Fantastic work! Formosus will clatter with delight when I give him my report.
Fantastic work! Formosus will clatter with delight when I give him my report. I just don't require comforting, so if you see any trolls or self-proclaimed alphas relegating all obese people to just being weak, selfish, or lazy, just let them do it. They're attacking a brick wall in my case. So anyway, I recently noticed how huge I've become, so I was already working on my health, but then I saw The Well, and it made me a better person. It motivated me. We finally got The Well over here in the UK about a month ago. I sat down in that cinema seat, which was literally too small for my fat ass, by the way. And I watched this beautiful character destroy himself with food. I saw this character's life as my future, and halfway through, I actually debated walking out. I'm not kidding, I genuinely had a mini panic attack. My chest got all tight and my head started spinning, got all lightheaded. Not only was simply watching this film triggering for me, it did inspire some changes in my lifestyle. And as I worked on this review, I did some serious soul searching, and I'm working to be better for myself and for those closest to me. So I thank The Well for the motivation. However, I don't think you need to have experienced morbid obesity in order to appreciate The Well. Just like you don't need to go to prison to appreciate Shawshank or try heroin to enjoy Trainspotting. I do believe The Well has enough beauty in it to touch anyone, so don't go thinking I'm just being myopic here. Sorry for that long intro. Let's get into the film. So, let's start with Brendan Fraser. Guys, I'm gonna be honest, I was never on the Brendan Fraser dick-sucking hype train. Yes, I was raised with his work, and I loved everything I saw, but when it came to him as an actor, I just took him for granted, and forgot about him in my adulthood. But a couple of years back, I saw him in season 3 of The Affair. He was so intimidating in that show. Don't look up his scenes because heavy spoilers abound. Just see the show, seriously. But he was fucking incredible in it.
Oh, really? You think you're just gonna walk out of here and forget about me? I'm gonna make a point to make sure that that does not fucking happen.
I paid some more attention to Fraser after that and discovered his insane fan base called the Brenner Sons. I was like, where the fuck did this come from? So I didn't go into The Well with the mindset of, oh my god, I love Brendan Fraser, ready to kiss its ass. But then I saw The Well, and his performance shook me to the point where I questioned my perception of his older performances. No exaggeration, I then spent a good week watching his older films, and even discovering some new ones like School Ties, George of the Jungle, California Man. I rewatched Airheads, The Mummy, Crash. I finally noticed how brilliant he was in Bedazzled, and Blast from the Past is one of the most overlooked films I've ever seen. Seriously guys, if you've never heard of it, check it out, it's so charming. I even rented Line of Descent, which was mismarketed to make you think he's one of the main stars in it, and that it's some type of action film. I mean, look at this poster. Dude, I really hated this film, so I just skipped all the bullshit to get to his scenes. And even in this film I disliked severely, he was awesome. All of his characters just feel so different. And I watched all of these films with no intention of reviewing them or being inspired by them when it comes to my own writing. I watched them just to see Brendan Fraser act, nothing more. And I had a blast even in the films I disliked. It was an educational experience. He truly disappears in these roles. And I know that's the actor's job, so that sounds patronizing, but I've only just fucking noticed how well this guy does it. Holy shit, Brendan Fraser is a brilliant actor and always has been. How did I never see this? So it's official, guys. I'm on the Brendan Fraser dick-sucking hype train. In fact, I have first-class tickets. And The Whale did this for me. It has to be his best performance ever. Fraser's performance as Charlie was like an open wound. It was vulnerable, honest, and you can see all of the pain in his eyes. The makeup accentuated all of this as well. The makeup was exquisite, and the Oscar nomination for Best Makeup is no surprise to me. I never even noticed the fat suit. It feels heavy, probably because it was heavy, and considering that Fraser is pretty much in every scene, he has to carry the whole film on his shoulders, and I think he did so with great success. Now there is this plot point involving Charlie in this essay about Moby Dick, and at first it confused me, but be patient, guys. By the end of it, it revealed a great layer to Charlie's character. Now despite having no self-worth, Charlie constantly sees the beauty in others, and this optimism does complicate the script a bit for me. I like how Charlie states that his dead boyfriend always saw the beauty in him. It gave me the impression that Charlie is carrying the torch for his dead boyfriend. I like that. But what I don't like about Charlie's optimism is how he uses it to communicate with his daughter, Ellie. Ellie is one complicated girl, and no matter how low she stoops, Charlie keeps telling her how beautiful she is, and it's like, dude, you don't know her, and what little you do know about her does not show beauty. I get that it's supposed to be a superpower, like how Charlie can see the beauty that we cannot, but for me, it's sometimes lent toward glorifying him for being blind, kind of like using a primitive writing tactic to make him endearing. Still, I guess it did work in the end. And it's not just Charlie on screen, of course. There's a limited cast of characters here who are all wrapped up in trauma. And apart from Thomas, who only felt like he was there to get some exposition, I loved all of them. Hong Chow was especially brilliant as Liz, Charlie's nurse and best friend. Liz is the ultimate bitch who loves and cares for Charlie, but she's also given up on Charlie and enables his binge eating. I hated and loved her. Their relationship was so complicated, and their history was beautiful. It's so painful. And as I said at the start, yes, this is adapted from a play, but I actually struggled to see this being adapted. Yeah, even the fact that this is mostly set in one location didn't make that obvious to me. I'm serious. And that's because there are many films set in one location that are not based on plays. Plus, it made me feel physically and mentally trapped in this apartment, like Charlie. I really liked that. It gave so much character to this location. Now I want to quickly talk about the binge eating scenes. Some feel that these scenes are over the top and dehumanize Charlie because he looks gross when overeating and making himself sick. Guys, I just don't see it. How is Charlie meant to look good when overeating and being sick? Guys, sadly, I myself have made myself sick by overeating many times before. And I assure you, during those long hours of pacing back and forth in my bathroom, covered in sweat and in complete agony, I did not look good, and I wasn't expecting to be in the next Magic Mike sequel. I also didn't see these scenes as dehumanizing. I recently reviewed Piggy, and I criticized that film for dehumanizing its overweight main character. It made me see her as this gross pig, and I never saw the wounded human being underneath all of that. But in the Wells case, I always saw Charlie as a wounded human being, and his inner beauty was constant. Now, I wasn't so into the way Charlie is mostly blamed for not being in his daughter's life throughout the film, because it is revealed at one point that Charlie's ex-wife was partly responsible for keeping Charlie away. I wish they put a little bit more focus on that because that made little sense to me. And without spoilers, I do think The Whale slightly delivers the wrong message, the wrong arc, but I'll get into that in the spoiler section. For now, in the end, The Whale is fantastic in my eyes. It's a wonderful, humble little drama that truly tapped into the lifestyle of a wounded human being dealing with obesity, trauma, and guilt. The agony surrounding all of these characters just got to me, and the acting was stellar all round. It's one of the most impactful films I've seen in a while, and it has genuinely inspired change in my life. But please understand this, my own experiences have not clouded my judgment. I never said this was a perfect film. It's just that for me, as someone who has suffered from obesity, I understand that this film tackled it with such authenticity. It's a genuinely powerful piece of cinema, and I cried like a baby watching this, and this is the first time I've ever cried watching a film in the cinema. I'm so glad hardly anyone was sat down next to me. Brendan Fraser truly was exceptional in this, and I kid you not, for the first time ever in my life, I'm gonna watch the Oscars live this year, just in hopes of seeing Fraser win the Oscar. I'm gonna give The Whale a 9 out of 10. Okay, so I'm going to go into major spoilers for The Whale now, but I'm also going to go into major spoilers for the Will Smith film, 7 Pounds. So the whole point of this spoiler section is to critique The Whale's last scene, because as far as I'm concerned, there are some layered and potentially dangerous issues here. So some have theorized that Charlie actually died on that sofa at the end, as Ellie read in the essay, that him walking to Ellie was just a fantasy as he died. I'm not too sure how I feel about it, but I guess it does make sense. Charlie couldn't stand up unaided before, but now that he's dying, he can magically do it? I don't know. It's up to you how you take it. But the real thing that stood out to me was that I felt this ending possibly delivered the wrong message and promoted the wrong arc. Throughout the whole film, Charlie is dying but refuses to save himself. This is not just to leave as much money as possible for his daughter after he dies, but he also wants to die. Charlie despises himself and doesn't believe he is worth saving. And I think it's obvious that Charlie is wrong. He is worth saving. But Charlie never discovers that. It's a false belief that he never overcomes, and he dies with it. Now, I can accept that. But what I can't accept is how the script kind of treats his decision to die and his overall death scene as a poetic, lovely moment. Charlie accomplishes all of his goals, including dying, and for the script to kind of treat this as a sweet and poetic moment, almost heroic, glorifies suicide in my eyes. It could inspire suicidal people to do the same type of thing. Now, you may think I'm just taking it all too personally due to my own experience with morbid obesity, but I promise you that's not the case. I also criticize the movie 7 Pounds for doing the same thing, and I don't relate to that film at all. In 7 Pounds, Will Smith accidentally crashes his car and kills 7 people. So, by the end of the film, he kills himself out of guilt and donates his body parts and money to 7 strangers in order to redeem himself. I don't relate to that at all, and yet it still bothered me how it kind of glorified the wrong way to deal with guilt and depression. Anyone in Will Smith's character's position could see 7 Pounds and feel guilty for not taking their own life or something. So for me, I'd fix this by making Charlie finally discover that he is worth saving. He was wrong. Charlie does convince his daughter that she is lovely, and in return, she shows him what he's truly worth. Her absence helped him destroy himself, but her presence helps him heal himself. Both of their self-destructive behaviors cancel each other out and awaken their inner beauty. Yeah, kind of corny and cliched, but it's needed. It doesn't have to be that clean though. I can accept Charlie dying, but as long as he dies trying after discovering the truth. I really do think they missed something there. But it's all good. Despite these complaints, I do think this ending is absolutely beautiful. That final goodbye monologue from Fraser, the apology scene, fucking incredible. And that little kiss goodbye from Liz, that simple peck on the cheek just spoke volumes. There was so much gratitude and regret in that simple little kiss, and I just thought it was lovely. So anyway, those are my thoughts on The Well. If you've made it this far, I appreciate it, because I rambled quite a lot on this one. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay jiggy. The better appreciate ya.